Close your eyes for a moment, or don't. Just let your shoulders drop. Take a slow breath in and out. Wherever you are right now, maybe curled up on a couch in Phoenix with the desert night outside your window, or halfway across the world in a rainy city, or somewhere in between, find a comfortable spot. Dim the lights if you can. Let the day slip away like water down a Bangkok klong. This is a tale told by whiskers and neon shadows, a feline story from the sticky, electric heart of Thailand. From a street cat named Tuk Tuk, who watches the world from a bar on Soi 22 while the rest of us chase our own tails. This gritty, this strange, has got a little cosmic hum underneath it all. So settle in, listener. Wherever you're from, Phoenix, Arizona, London, Tokyo, a small town no one's heard of, drop it in the comments below. Tell me your city, your time zone, the weather outside your window right now. Let me know you're here, ready to listen. Because tonight, Tuk Tuk has something to share. And the bridge is already open. Just breathe, and we'll begin. Chapter 1. The Whiskers in the Neon Glow. Listen, if you're expecting some fancy tale from a pampered house cat with a silver bowl and a fluffy bed, you've got the wrong feline. Name's Tuk Tuk, after those rattling three-wheeled death traps that zip around Bangkok like drunk hornets. I call this stretch of Soi 22 home, right at the corner where it dumps into Sukhumvit Road. It's a bar called the Lazy Lizard. Don't ask me why. There's no lizards here, just sticky floors and humans pretending they're not as lost as I am on a bad night. The owner's a grizzled Thai guy named Somchai, who feeds me scraps of grilled pork skewers because he thinks I'm good luck. Superstition runs deep here. Folks believe in spirits, ghosts, and yeah, cats like me who might be reincarnated monks or something. Me? I'm just trying to avoid getting squashed by a motorcycle taxi. It's April 21st, 2028, and the air's thick as coconut curry, heavy with that mix of street food grease and exhaust fumes that makes Bangkok feel alive, even when it's trying to choke you. Soi 22's buzzing tonight, same as always. Vendors hawk pad thai from carts that look like they've been welded together from old bike parts. The sizzle of noodles hitting hot woks cutting through the honk of traffic. Ladyboys in glittering dresses strut by, calling out to Farang tourists, those wide-eyed foreigners with their sunburns and flip-flops, promising a good time in broken English. You want massage? Very good, very cheap. Yeah, I've seen what massage means around here. Half the time it's code for something that makes the alley cats yowl in jealousy. I'm perched on the bar's windowsill, tail flicking lazy-like, watching the chaos. The neon signs flicker, red, blue, green, advertising Singa beer and cheap rooms upstairs. Inside, the Lazy Lizard's dim, lit by strings of fairy lights that Somchai swears are from the Songkran festival last year. But they're really just Christmas leftovers he bought off a street hustler. Fans were overhead, stirring the humid air without cooling it, and the jukebox pumps out Luk Thung music, that twangy Thai country stuff about lost love and rice fields. Humans don't get it, but to me it's like a lullaby with teeth. Somchai's behind the bar, polishing glasses with a rag that smells like old dishwater. He's got that perpetual squint like he's sizing up everyone who walks in, wondering if they're going to pay their tab or start a fight. Tuk Tuk, you lazy bastard, he mutters in Thai, tossing me a bit of satay. I snag it midair, the peanut sauce sticking to my whiskers. He laughs, a gravelly sound. You eat better than half my customers. Culture lesson for you. In Thailand, cats aren't just pets. We're part of the family, the street, the temple. Monks feed us at Wat Pho, and folks leave offerings for us because we keep the rats away, and maybe the bad spirits too. Phai Kraju, those floating head ghosts with dangling guts? They don't mess with a cat who's got his territory marked. A group of expats stumble in, Brits, by the sound of their slurred accents, ordering Chong beers and complaining about the heat. One of them, a beefy guy with a tattoo of a dragon that looks like it was inked by a drunk toddler, spots me and reaches out. Here, kitty kitty. I arch my back, hiss just enough to make him pull back. Humans think they're the top of the food chain, but they've got no idea. I've got claws and I've got, well, something else. Call it a sixth sense or maybe seventh. Lately, I've been picking up thoughts not just from other cats but from them. Snippets like radio static. This guy's thinking about his ex-wife back in Manchester, how she took the house and the dog. Pathetic. It's not just me. All over Bangkok, animals are whispering about it. The stray dogs down by the Chao Phraya River, the geckos clicking on the walls, they sense something's coming. Theories float around like plastic bags in the monsoon floods. Some say it's the UFOs, those lights folks spot over the Gulf of Thailand. Conspiracies? Oh, we've got them. Humans babble about non-human intelligence, NHI they call it, like it's new. But we've known forever. Elephants in the North trumpet about ancient visitors. Beings that aren't from here but watch us all. And telepathy? That's old hat. I once linked minds with a temple monkey in Ayutthaya. He showed me visions of stars falling, humans panicking. Tonight feels like that, charged, like the air before a storm. The sky's darkening early, but it's not rain clouds. News on the bar's TV, some Farang channel, CNN or whatever, drones on about this asteroid 2028 XF something. Closest pass to Earth in centuries, they say. Scientists swear it's safe, but the talking heads look nervous, sweat beading on their brows. Samchai changes the channel to a Thai soap opera, muttering about Farang paranoia. But I feel it in my fur. The pull, like gravity's got a hook in my tail. The asteroid's not just rock. It's a messenger or maybe a scout. Whispers from the alley cats say it's tied to the old stories, the Garuda and Naga from Thai myths, but twisted with lights in the sky. A woman slides onto a stool next to my perch. She's Thai, mid-30s, with sharp eyes and a tattoo of a lotus on her wrist. Calls herself Noi, short for something longer, but humans love nicknames here. She's a regular, works at one of the go-go bars down the Soi, but tonight she's off, nursing a Mekong whiskey and soda. Tuk-tuk, she coos, scratching behind my ears. I purr despite myself. She's got good energy. Her thoughts brush mine. Worry about her kid back in Isen, the rice-farming northeast where life's harder than Bangkok's concrete. She sends money home, but the floods last year ruined the crops. Culture bit. Family's everything in Thailand. You honor your parents, your ancestors. Noi lights a stick of incense at the bar's spirit house. A tiny shrine outside with fruits and garlands for the Phra Phum, the guardian spirits. Samchai nods approval. Neglect those and bad luck follows. The night deepens, and the street pulses. Tuk-tuks, real ones, honk and weave, their drivers haggling fares with tourists. Soy cowboy? 200 baht. That's the red light district nearby, all neon and noise. I hop down, slink through the legs of patrons. A Farang couple argues in German. He's drunk, she's fed up. Their thoughts clash like cymbals. He wants adventure, she wants home. I brush against her leg, send a little calm. Yeah, I can do that. Telepathy's not just listening. Sometimes it's pushing back. She smiles, pets me. Cute cat. Outside, the air's electric. Vendors pack up as the crowd thickens. Office workers in wrinkled shirts, backpackers with dreadlocks, street performers juggling fire for tips. A monk in saffron robes walks by, bowl in hand. Folks press palms together in a Y, the Thai greeting that's part bow, part prayer. Respect for the Sangha, the Buddhist clergy, is baked in. Even I pause. Monks have a vibe like they're tuned to a higher frequency. Back inside, the TV flickers again. Asteroid update. Speaking now, visible in the southern sky if you squint past the city lights. Patrons crane necks out the door. Look! There! Someone shouts. A streak, faint but there. My hackles rise. The whispers amp up. Dogs howling in the distance. Birds fluttering erratic. Then a hum low and building. Lights buzz, the fans slow. Samchai curses. Flips switches. Blackout. The whole Soi plunges into dark. Neon signs wink out, music cuts. Shouts rise, surprise, then laughter. Thais are resilient. Blackouts happen, blame the monsoon or bad wiring. But this feels different. My eyes adjust quick, cat perk, and I see shapes milling. Candles flicker to life. Samchai pulls out lanterns from under the bar. Free beer for the first hour, he jokes, easing the tension. Humor in the grit. That's Bangkok. Power goes, but the party's on. Noise phone glows. She's checking news. Asteroid caused it? EMP or something? Her thoughts spike with fear, conspiracies she's read online about governments hiding UFOs, aliens using asteroids as cover. I've heard it too, from the rats in the sewers. Non-human intelligences watching, waiting. Telepathic links between species, humans too dumb to notice. Tonight it's stronger. I leap onto the bar, stare at her. Our eyes lock and I push. It's okay. Something's coming, but not the end. She blinks, shakes her head. Weird cat. But she relaxes, sips her drink. Outside, the sky's clearer without lights. Stars prick through the haze, and that asteroid's trail lingers. Whispers turn to voices in my head. Not just animals, but something else. Distant, alien. Images flash. Lights descending, shapes in the clouds. UFOs? NHI? The Garuda myths say birdmen from the stars guarded the gods. Maybe they're back. Chaos builds. A motorcycle crashes in the dark. Screech. Thud. Shouts in Thai. Are you okay? Laughter follows. No one's hurt bad. Vendors light gas lamps, selling glow sticks to kids. The soy transforms, gritty magic. But my fur stands on end. Something's shifting, like the world's tilting. Samchai feeds me more satay, his hand shaking slight. His thoughts. Worry for his bar, his family. I nuzzle him, send calm. Then a new presence, strong, probing. Not human, not animal. Touches my mind, watch. Learn. Visions flood. Ancient temples glowing. Skies filled with crafts. Telepathic web spanning earth. Animals as nodes. A yowl startling everyone. Noi picks me up. Sho tuk. It's just the dark. But it's not. As the night stretches, the blackout holds. Whispers promise more. Contact. Revelation. By dawn, power returns. But what comes with it? The alley calls. I slip out, padding into shadows. Something's hunting or maybe inviting. The asteroid's pass isn't coincidence. It's the start. Chapter 2, Shadows in the Black. The dark lasted longer than any blackout I'd ever known, and I'd known plenty. Bangkok's grid is finicky. Monsoon rains short-circuit transformers. Overloaded lines snap like dry noodles. Trucks plow into poles like drunk elephants. But this felt deliberate, like the city held its breath while something bigger exhaled. I padded along the cracked sidewalk of Soi 22. The usual neon buzz replaced by a hush broken only by generators coughing in back alleys and the occasional whoop of a Farang tourist thinking this was some adventure. Phones glowed like fireflies, people filming the sky, posting to line groups, WhatsApp chats lighting up with rumors. Asteroid EMP. One message read in Thai script I could read because, well, mine's leak. Government cover-up. Another. Aliens coming, bro. Humans love their conspiracies. It's their way of making sense of the chaos. Me? I felt the chaos in my bones, or whatever cats have instead of bones when the world tilts. The asteroid, let's call it what the news did before the screens died. 2028 XF47 or some nonsense, was supposed to be a close shave, nothing more. Scientists on those Farang channels had droned about safe passage, gravitational tugs, no impact risk. But up close like this, in the flesh or fur, it wasn't just rock. It hummed. Low, vibrating through the concrete, rattling my whiskers. And with the lights out, the sky opened up. No light pollution to drown the stars. And there it was. A slow-moving streak, brighter than Venus on a good night, trailing something that looked like sparks but felt like thoughts. I slipped into the alley behind the lazy lizard, where the garbage bins overflow with fish bones and beer cans. The stray pack usually hung here, 3 mangy soy dogs named after Thai pop stars. Bird, Stamp, and a one-eyed mutt called Potato. They were huddled under a tarp, tails tucked. Bird lifted his head first. Tuk, you feel it too? His mind voice was rough like gravel under tires. Yeah, I sent back. It's not the rock. It's what's riding it. Stamp whimpered. Lights in the sky last week. Over the river. Silver things, no sound. Then gone. Potato just growled low. He doesn't talk much. Mostly just eats and fights. But his fear leaked like piss on hot pavement. I nudged Bird's flank. Humans think it's just blackout. They'll fix it by morning. They always do, Bird replied. But this time, something watches back. We sat there, for animals in the stink, linked in that quiet way strays do when the world's gone sideways. Telepathy isn't magic. It's old wiring, the kind humans lost when they started building cities and forgetting how to listen. Animals never forgot. Elephants remember dead kin across decades. Crows hold grudges for generations. And cats? We walk between worlds, or so the old monks say. Ghosts ride our backs sometimes. Maybe NHI does too. A shadow moved at the alley's mouth. Noi. She carried a flashlight, beam cutting through the murk like a knife. Tuk, where are you, stupid cat? I trotted out. She scooped me up, warm against the cooling night. Her heart hammered. Thoughts tumbled. Her kid in Buram. Floods again this year, money tight. And underneath, fear. Not just blackout fear, but the deep kind. She'd seen things. Not tonight, but before. Lights over the Gulf, silent triangles. She never told anyone. Thais don't like crazy talk. But she whispered to me sometimes, late shifts, when the bar was empty. You understand, right, Tuk? More than they think. I purred, pushed calm into her mind like scratching an itch she couldn't reach. She exhaled, held me tighter. Back inside the lazy lizard, Samchai had turned the place into a candlelit speakeasy. Lanterns flickered on tables, casting long shadows. Patrons clustered, sharing stories over warm beer. The Brits from earlier were quieter now, faces pale in the glow. One muttered about solar flares, another about hackers. But the dragon tattoo guy, he stared at the ceiling like it might fall. Noi set me on the bar. Samchai slid her a fresh Mekong. Power's out everywhere from a sock to on nut, he said. MEA says transformer failure, but... He shrugged. Metropolitan Electricity Authority, always some excuse. A new voice cut in, Farang accent, American maybe. Tall guy in a faded Grateful Dead shirt, backpack slung over one shoulder. Called himself Jax. He'd been nursing a Leo beer all night, quiet till now. It's not the grid, he said, loud enough for the room. It's the asteroid. Close approach messes with magnetics. Or, he lowered his voice. Something else. Eyes turned. Samchai chuckled. Farang ghost stories. Jax didn't laugh. I've been following this stuff. Disclosures coming. Grush Elizondo whistleblowers saying NHI's real. Non-human intelligence. They've been here forever. Underwater bases. Ancient contact. And tonight, perfect cover. Blackout hides the lights. Noi tensed beside me. Her thoughts flashed. Recognition. She'd read those names online, late night scrolling. Conspiracies about telepathic contact, animals as bridges. She glanced at me, eyes narrowing. Jax kept going. Look up Kaukala. Thailand's got its own hot spot. Locals see discs, hear voices. Not ghosts, aliens. Or whatever they are. Cryptoterrestrials, interdimensional. Point is, they're talking. To animals first, maybe, then us. The room went quiet except for the cicadas outside and distant generators. Then someone laughed. Nervous. You high, man? Jax shrugged. Maybe. But feel that hum? That's not power lines. And damn if he wasn't right. The vibration was stronger now, thrumming through the floorboards. My fur prickled. Outside, the sky pulsed. Faint aurora-like glows, green and purple. Nothing natural for Bangkok's latitude. Culture note: Thais no omens. A black cat crossing your path means bad luck in some places. But here, cats are lucky guardians. If I yowled at the wrong time, folks might burn incense double. I jumped to the windowsill. The soy was alive in the dark. People spilling out, pointing up. Phones dead now, batteries drained fast, like the asteroids sucked juice. A monk walked past, robes saffron even in shadow, chanting soft. Folks wide him, pressing coins into his bowl. Respect never blacks out. Then the first real sighting. A shape, silent, triangular, slid over the rooftops. No engines, no lights except a soft blue underglow. It hovered above the intersection, slow as a drifting leaf. Gasps. Someone screamed. Then laughter. Thai laughter, the kind that masks fear. UFO. Take picture. Phones were useless. The thing drifted toward Sukhumvit, vanished behind high-rises. My mind exploded with voices. Not just dogs, cats, birds, rats, even the geckos on the walls. Is here. Is calling. Chorus. Overlapping. And underneath something colder, older. Not animal. Not human. Observer. Connector. I yowled loud, sharp. Noi grabbed me. What is it? I pushed into her. Images. Temples glowing. Skies full of craft. Humans kneeling. Ancient stuff, naga serpents from the deep, Garuda birds from stars. Myths aren't myths. They're memories. She gasped. You showed me? First time she'd admitted feeling it. Telepathy clicked, human to animal, bridge built. Samchai stared. Tuk-tuk talks now? Jax approached slow. He does. They all do if you listen. The blackout stretched. Hours passed in candle flicker and stories. Jack spun yarns, Grush claiming crashes, bodies. Underwater anomalies off California mirroring reports here in the Andaman Sea. Noi shared quieter. Her grandmother in the village spoke of sky people visiting rice fields, teaching songs. No fear, just wonder. Me? I prowled the bar, linking minds. The Brits calmed, shared smokes, laughed at their own panic. Potato slunk in, tail low. I fed him scraps, eased his terror. Around 3 a.m. the hum peaked. Lights flickered, not power returning, but something else. The triangular thing returned, lower. It hung over the soy like judgment. No hostility, just presence. Watching. Then, contact. Not words. Impressions. Flooded every mind linked mine, noise, Jax's maybe, the animals. Visions. Earth from above. Webs of light connecting cities. Jungles. Oceans. Animals as nodes, humans waking slow. The asteroid. A beacon, not rock. Probe or seed. Non-human intelligence seeding awareness. Panic rose, then ebbed. Acceptance? Not quite. But understanding. Dawn grayed the sky. The shape ascended, vanished into clouds. The hum faded. Power surged back. Fans whirred. Neon blinked on. Cheers erupted. Samchai flipped switches, grinning. See? Just technical. But we knew. Noi held me close. What now? Tuk-tuk? I looked up. The asteroid's trail faded. But the connection lingered. Stronger. Something had shifted. The bridge was open. And the next night, more would come. Chapter 3. The bridge opens wide. Dawn came slow over Soi 22, the kind of gray that makes Bangkok look washed out, like someone forgot to turn up the saturation. The power had snapped back around 4:30, fans spinning lazy again, neon signs coughing to life with that familiar buzz. People cheered like it was Songkran, splashing warm beer instead of water. Samchai cranked the jukebox back on. Some old Carabao song about broken hearts and motorbikes. and the lazy lizard filled with the smell of fresh coffee and reheated fried rice. Life snapped back into its groove, gritty and loud, like nothing had happened. But something had. I felt it in every whisker, every nerve ending. The hum hadn't gone away. It had just gone quiet, the way a tiger goes still before it pounces. The triangular thing had lifted into the clouds and vanished, but it left a thread behind. A thin, silver line of connection that ran from the sky straight into my skull, and from there into every animal on the soy, and maybe beyond. Noi felt it too. She hadn't said much after the sighting, just kept me on her lap, stroking my back in slow circles while her thoughts leaked like cracked pipes. Wonder, terror, a little hope. She'd seen the visions I pushed into her head. Ancient temples lit from within, skies thick with silent craft, humans and animals standing together like they'd forgotten how to be afraid. Jax hadn't left either. He'd pulled up a stool next to Noi, nursing black coffee now instead of beer. His eyes kept flicking to me, like I was the key to a lock he'd been trying to pick for years. "He's the bridge," he said quietly, not to anyone in particular. "Not just tonight. Always was." Samchai snorted from behind the bar. "My cat? He's a mooch who likes pork skewers." Jax smiled thin. "Exactly. No agenda. No ego. Animals don't lie to themselves. That's why they're hearing it first." I hopped off Noi's lap and padded to the open door. The soy was waking up. Vendors rolled out carts, the sizzle of pork fat hitting hot iron mixing with the diesel cough of morning tuk-tuks. A monk walked past again. Different one this time, younger, carrying an alms bowl. People stepped aside, wide him, dropped rice and money. He paused when he saw me sitting in the doorway, met my eyes for a long second. His mind was calm water, no ripples. But he knew. The old ones are speaking again, he thought, clear as speech. Listen with the heart, not the ears. Then he moved on. I slipped outside. The street felt different, sharper, colors brighter, sounds crisper. The connection had widened overnight. I could feel Bird and Stamp and Potato 3 alleys away, curled in their usual spots but awake, alert. I could feel the geckos on the walls clicking in nervous Morse code. Even the rats in the sewers were quiet for once, listening instead of scavenging. And farther out, dogs in Lumpini Park, crows on the BTS tracks, a water monitor lizard sunning itself by the clong. They were all tuned in now. A network, a nervous system the size of the city. And humans were starting to feel the edges of it. Not all of them. Most just went about their day. Office workers in wrinkled shirts rushing for the Skitran. Tourists haggling for fake Rolexes. Street kids kicking a deflated soccer ball. But some paused. A woman selling mango sticky rice looked up suddenly, like she'd heard her name called from far away. A motorcycle taxi driver pulled over, took off his helmet, stared at the sky. An old farang sitting on a plastic stool outside 7-Eleven rubbed his temples, muttering, "What the hell was that?" Telepathy leaking through the cracks. Not words yet, impressions, feelings, flashes of image. The asteroid had done more than pass. It had punched a hole in the membrane between minds. Or maybe it had just reminded us the membrane was never solid to begin with. I trotted down Soi 22 towards Sukhumvit, weaving between legs and motorbikes. The connection pulsed stronger the closer I got to the main road. There, in the chaos of 6 lanes of traffic and elevated tracks overhead, I felt something new, a focal point, like a spotlight had swung down and pinned a single spot. It was near the mouth of Soi Cowboy. Neon hell even in daylight. Go-go bars shuttered now but still reeking of last night's perfume and spilled whiskey. In the narrow alley between 2 clubs, a small crowd had gathered. Maybe 20 people, phones out, murmuring. I slipped through ankles to see. A man stood in the center. Thai, late 40s, wearing a faded blue work shirt and flip-flops. He looked ordinary except for his eyes. They were wide, pupils blown, like he'd taken too much YBA but without the twitch. He spoke in a low monotone, words tumbling out in Thai, then English, then something that sounded like neither. "The bridge opens," he said. "The watchers return, not to take, to remind." People shifted uncomfortably. Someone laughed nervously. A young woman, tourist, blonde ponytail, filmed him on her phone. "Is he okay?" she whispered to her friend. But I felt it. His mind was wide open. Not possessed exactly, more like a radio tuned to a frequency it wasn't built for. Images poured through him. Vast oceans with shapes moving beneath, deserts where lights rose from sand, jungles where temples hummed with old energy. And Bangkok, our Bangkok, lit from below, every soy and klong glowing like veins. He turned slowly, eyes landing on me. "You," he said, pointing. "The small one. You carry the clearest signal." The crowd looked down. Phones swung toward me. I froze, tail puffed. Noi appeared then, pushing through. Tuk. She scooped me up. "What's going on?" Jax was right behind her. His face was pale but excited. "He's channeling. Look at his eyes, classic contactee symptoms. No fear, just transmission." The man smiled at Noi. "Your friend hears clearest because he never doubted. Humans doubt. Animals remember." Noi's grip tightened. Her thoughts raced. Fear for me, fear for her kid. Fear this was all real and nothing would ever be the same. The man stepped closer. "Ask him," he said. "He knows where the next node is." I didn't want to answer, but the connection demanded it. The thread pulled taut. I pushed into Noi's mind, stronger this time, almost words. "What a rune. Across the river. Tonight, when the moon rises over the prang." She gasped. He said, "What a rune." The crowd murmured. Phones zoomed in. Jax nodded like he'd expected it. "Makes sense. Ancient site. Aligned with ley lines or whatever you want to call them. The Naga statues, the river water conducts. Always has." The man blinked, swayed. Whatever had been speaking through him receded. He looked around, confused. "Did I say something?" People clapped him on the back, laughing it off. "Good show, uncle." But a few lingered, eyes thoughtful. The seed was planted. Noi carried me back toward the lazy lizard. "What the hell? Tuk? I couldn't answer in words she'd understand. Not yet, but I sent her the feeling. Urgency, inevitability, a pull like gravity. The day passed in a strange hush. Bangkok kept moving. Traffic snarled, vendors shouted, monks chanted. But underneath it all ran that silver thread. More people felt it now. A barista at the Starbucks on Sukhumvit dropped a tray of lattes, staring into space. A tuk-tuk driver refused fares, saying, "Not today. Something coming." Even Samchai was quieter, feeding me extra pork without his usual insults. As dusk fell, the sky turned bruise purple. No blackout this time, just anticipation. The soy filled early. Word had spread, whispered in line chats, posted on Pantip forums. Something at What a Rune tonight. Saw a guy channeling. Cat involved. People laughed, but they came anyway. Curiosity is stronger than skepticism in this city. Noi dressed in black jeans and a simple white shirt. No makeup, no bar glitter. She looked like someone going to temple, not a UFO stakeout. Jax had a backpack with water, flashlight, a small digital recorder. "Document everything," he said. "If this is it, we need proof." I rode in Noi's arms, hidden under her jacket. The connection thrummed like a live wire. We took a taxi across the river Sathorn Pier to Wat Arun Pier. The Chao Phraya was black glass, reflecting the city lights. Boats chugged past, loaded with tourists snapping photos. But tonight felt different. The water itself seemed to listen. Wat Arun rose on the west bank, its central prang glowing under floodlights, porcelain tiles glittering like broken stars. The crowds were thin, weeknight, off-season, but more people than usual lingered at the base of the stairs, looking up. We climbed. Halfway up, the hum returned. Stronger, deeper. My fur stood straight. Noi felt it too. She shivered. At the top platform, the city spread below. Glittering sprawl, river curving like a naga. And above, clear sky, no clouds, the faint trail of the asteroid still visible days later, like a scar. Then the lights began. Not dramatic, subtle. Soft glows rising from the river, from the temple grounds, from the opposite bank. Blue-white, silent. Shapes formed, spheres, discs, triangles, hovering low, drifting slow. No sound except the lap of water and the distant city drone. People gasped. Phones came out, but batteries died fast again, screens flickering black. The connection surged. Visions flooded, not just mine, everyone's. Shared now. Ancient visitors teaching rice cultivation to early kingdoms. Naga rising from rivers to guard temples. Garuda soaring with messages from stars. And humans, ordinary humans, standing with animals' minds linked, no fear. A sphere descended, slow, until it hovered 20 feet above the prang. Light pulsed, warm, welcoming. A voice, not sound, but thought, touched every mind present. We have waited. You have remembered. The bridge is open. Step across. Noi cried quiet tears. Jax whispered, "Holy shit." I yowled once, sharp, triumphant. Then the sphere brightened, expanded, enveloped the platform in soft white. When it faded, the lights were gone. But the connection remained. Stronger, permanent. People stood stunned, touching each other's arms like they needed proof they were still here. Noi looked down at me. What now? I didn't have to push. She already knew. We go back. We tell. We live with it. The bridge was open, and the last chapter would decide who walked across. Chapter 4. The Open Door. The ride back across the river felt like moving through water. The Chao Phraya was ink-black under the city glow, boats cutting slow wakes that caught the lights and shattered them into gold slivers. Noi held me against her chest the whole way, her heartbeat steady but quick, like a drum someone was learning to play. Jax sat beside us in the long-tail boat, staring at the water as if it might speak. None of us said much. Words felt small after what had happened on the prang at Waterun. The sphere had enveloped us, warm, silent, bright enough to bleach the edges of everything. And in that light, every mind on the platform had touched every other. Not just thoughts, memories, fears, hopes. The old monk who'd been chanting quietly suddenly wept like a child. A teenage girl filming on her phone dropped it and hugged the stranger next to her. Even the Farong tourists, the ones who'd come for cheap beer and temples, stood frozen, mouths open, tears streaking their sunburned faces. They'd felt it too. The vastness, the patience, the quiet certainty that we were not alone and never had been. And me? I felt it clearest because I'd never learned to doubt. Cats don't build walls around their minds the way humans do. We feel the wind, the hunger, the warmth of a sunbeam, and we accept it all without question. So when the watchers reached out, I didn't flinch. I leaned in. They didn't speak in sentences. They showed. Flashes of worlds turning under different suns. Oceans that sang. Forests where thought moved like mist between leaves. Beings that weren't bodies so much as patterns. Light folded into shape, intention given form. They'd been here before the first rice paddy was planted, before the first stupa rose. They'd watched Ayutthaya burn, watched the kings of Sukhothai laugh and weep, watched elephants carry teak logs downriver while humans sang to keep the spirits happy. They hadn't come to conquer or save. They'd come because the bridge was ready, because enough minds, human and animal, had finally stopped shouting long enough to listen. When the light faded, the watchers withdrew. Not gone, just distant again, like a radio tuned low. The hum settled into a background note, the way the Chao Phraya's current is always there even when you stop noticing it. The boat bumped against the pier on the Sathorn side. Noi paid the driver with shaking hands. We walked back towards Sukhumvit in silence. The city hadn't changed. Traffic snarled at every intersection. Neon still bled pink and blue across wet pavement. Street vendors still shouted about grilled squid and mango with sticky rice. But it felt thinner now, like a curtain had been pulled back just enough to show the stagehands moving in the wings. By the time we reached Soi 22, the lazy lizard was packed. Word travels fast in Bangkok, especially when it's weird. People spilled onto the sidewalk, smoking, drinking from plastic cups, arguing in rapid Thai and broken English. Somchai stood in the doorway like a bouncer, arms crossed, but his eyes were wide. He'd felt something too, even from here. A tug, a whisper. "Tuck, tuck," he called when he saw me. He crouched, held out a skewer. "You famous now, huh?" Everyone asking about the cat. I took the pork because it would have been rude not to, but I kept my eyes on the crowd. Jax pushed through to the bar. "They're all talking about what a rune," he said to Somchai. "Some guy posted video, grainy, but you can see the lights. Phones died right after, but enough got through." Somchai grunted. "Internet's blowing up. Line groups, Facebook, Pantip. Everyone says aliens, everyone says ghosts, everyone says too much Mekong." Noi set me on the bar. "It wasn't aliens," she said quietly. "Not like in movies." Jax looked at her. "What was it then?" She shrugged. "Family. Coming home." The room quieted a little. People leaned in. Noi had never been one for speeches, but tonight she spoke like she'd been waiting years to say it. "My grandmother told stories," she said. "Sky people visiting the fields. Not to take, to teach. Songs for planting, songs for rain." She said animals heard them first, dogs, cats, birds. Because animals don't lie to themselves. We do. We build walls. We say impossible. But tonight, she touched her chest. Tonight the walls cracked. Someone clapped, slow, then others joined. Not mocking. Real. I felt the thread again. Wider now. Reaching past the soy, past the city. Dogs in the provinces barking at nothing. Crows wheeling over rice paddies. Monkeys in the north chattering in patterns that sounded almost like language. And humans more every minute. A taxi driver in Pattaya pulling over to cry. A nurse in Chiang Mai staring at the ceiling during her break. A kid in a village schoolhouse waking from a dream of flying. The bridge wasn't just open. It was growing. Jax pulled out his recorder, hit play. Static at first, then his own voice from earlier. "If this is contact, it's not invasion. It's invitation." He stopped it. "We need to be careful," he said. "Some will call it crazy. Some will call it religion. Some will try to weaponize it." Somchai laughed. Short, bitter. "The Thai have seen worse. We survived floods, coups, ghosts, Farong tourists. We'll survive this." But I felt the undercurrent. Fear. Not of the watchers, of what humans would do with the knowing. The night stretched. People came and went. Stories poured out. An old woman said her cat had stared at the sky for hours last week, purring like an engine. A young guy admitted he'd heard voices in his head since the blackout. Soft, patient, asking him to be kind. A Farong woman cried because she'd felt her dead mother for the first time in years. Not as a ghost, but as part of the same light. Around 2 a.m., the hum shifted again. Not loud, subtle, like someone turning up the volume on a song you'd forgotten was playing. Outside, the sky pulsed once, soft green, gone in a blink. Everyone felt it. Heads turned. Phones came out, though most were still dead or flickering. I jumped to the windowsill. The triangular shape was back. Higher this time, almost lost in the stars. It drifted slow over Sukhumvit, silent as breath. No panic this time, just quiet awe. Then the visions came again, shared, gentle. Not instruction, not command, just showing. A future where humans and animals walk together, minds touching without fear. Cities that breathed with their rivers. Temples that glowed not with electricity but with shared thought. No utopia, just balance. The way a forest balances itself. Predator and prey, root and rot, all part of the same pulse. And woven through it, choice. They would not force the bridge wider. They would wait. Watch. If we slammed the door, they would step back. If we walked through, they would meet us halfway. The triangle drifted north, fading into haze. Silence held for a long minute. Then someone started singing, soft, a luck-thung ballad about lost love and returning home. Others joined. Not perfect harmony, just people singing because the night felt too big to hold in silence. Noi lifted me again. What do we do now? Tuck tuck? I didn't have an answer. Not one she'd understand in words. But I sent her the feeling. Keep listening. Keep the door cracked. Be kind to the stray, the stranger, the scared. She nodded like she heard it clear. Jax packed his recorder. I'm going north tomorrow, he said. Khao Kala. See if the signal's stronger there. Samchai poured him a last Mekong. Take care, Farong. Don't get lost in the sky. Jax smiled. Too late. Dawn crept in slow, the way it does in Bangkok. Gray turning pink, turning gold. Exhaust mixing with incense from morning offerings at the spirit house outside the bar. Vendors rolled carts out again. Monks walked their rounds. Life picked up its rhythm. But underneath, the hum stayed. I slipped outside as the first light hit the soy. Bird and stamp and potato waited in the alley. We sat together, tails curled, watching the city wake. It's not over, bird scent. Never was, I replied. We felt others joining the network. Animals across the country, across the world maybe. Quiet chorus. Waiting. Inside the bar, Noi lit incense at the little shrine. She pressed palms together, bowed to the Fra Fum. Then she looked at me through the open door. See you tonight? She asked. I flicked my tail. Of course. She smiled, small, real. I patted down Soy 22 towards Sukhumvit. The morning sun warm on my fur. The bridge was open. Some would step across. Some would hesitate. Some would turn away and pretend it never happened. But the door stayed cracked. And on quiet nights, when the city slept and the river whispered, you might hear it too. A low hum, patient, waiting. Not asking you to believe, just asking you to listen.